Wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are on the face of this very planet, we welcome you to an exciting edition, hopefully, of Radio Biafra Address, our live presentation from the Holy Land of Israel. I must apologize for our late coming because the enemies are at it once again. They are well resourced and they are determined. They do not want the propagation of this very divine gospel on this hallowed platform of Radio Biafra. But we have overcome them because this gospel must be preached as mandated by Elohim. I welcome you, and as I do so, I will encourage you to welcome those who are around you. The time here now is approximately 24 minutes past the top of the hour. And this is Radio Biafra. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra by the grace of Elohim, not by man. Therefore, Biafra must come because we have suffered enough. We have been discriminated against enough. We have been humiliated enough. We have been disgraced enough. That to the point where we no longer have men, we no longer have people who can rise and speak up, except IPOB. That is why we must continue to preach this very gospel. We must continue to preach it. Because Chukwokika Biama have sent us on this very mission, and we must accomplish it regardless of the price and regardless of the cost. Everything humanly possible will be sacrificed to ensure that Biafra comes as decreed by the Most High. This evening we've been disrupted, we have been interrupted, but I do hope that my Deputy Uchemefo is working tirelessly hard to ensure we overcome this technical glitch. Therefore, can I go ahead to announce that we are on Radio Biafra Live? Is that confirmed that we're live on Radio Biafra page? We are on Radio Biafra Facebook page. We are also live on my page, Nnamdi Kanu. Make sure you're on the right one, because I know our enemies are very good at duplicating anything that we are doing in order to confuse the gullible. But we know the hardcore are determined, and we must proceed. Before we do so, we must hand over our proceedings to Chukwokika Biama, Onye Purimi Henine, without whom and in whom we repose every ounce of our essence and our being, that His grace will continue to guide us along this very tortuous and treacherous journey, that in the end that Biafra may become emancipated. We must pray. And this evening, I will pray the prayer of David. I will pray Psalm 6 before we commence our broadcast this evening. And I will pray in English, that the world may understand, including those who are very close to Chief Justice Onogen, that the Fulani Islamic cabal are angling very hard to remove from office. After this broadcast this evening, everybody from Cross River, from Akwa Ibom, you will recognize this very inescapable fact that our Fulani is against you. Only Biafra can save you. I told you just Onogen. It has happened. They don't want him there. They want INEC to be controlled by Hausa Fulani. They want the Justice Department to be Fulani, Army Fulani, Police Fulani, Customs Fulani, Defense Chief Fulani, everything Fulanized. Everything is Fulani. Anybody from Efik, from Ibibio, from Anang, from Oron, if you rise up against Biafra after what they have done to Onogen, then I will know that you're not deserving to be called a human being. Some people from the Yoruba land want the presidency. Because of that, they will not speak up against evil. But there are a few honorable, noble Yoruba men that will continue to speak. And they will continue to have my regard, my respect, and my support. Because evil is evil. I do not want to get ahead of myself. Let Chukwokika Abiyama take control. O Elohim, rebuke us not in your anger, neither chasten us in thy hot displeasure. Ekwekwala ka iwe gabigo kenebo moge no Chineke nna nke igwe. Ka m sụọ asụsụ eluigwe. Onye pụrụ m ihe niile. Onye anyị na-efe wee na-akpọku aha nsọ ya. Chineke nna nke eri. Chineke nna nke arọ dị. Chineke nna nke ara eli. Onye na-adịgide ma ruo mgbe ebighị ebi. Ndị gboo na-etughị ebighị ebi n'ihi na ancient of days. Nara otuto na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma. Nara ekele, nara mbuli elu, nara ekpu isi ala nke anyị na-enye gị. Anyị na-ewere njem nke anyị onwe anyị na-aga n'uhuruchi a wee nyefee gị n'aka ka iwe tinye anyị eziokwu nke gị n'ime. Ka ọlụ aka gị wee pụta ihe ma n'eluigwe ma n'elu ụwa n'ihi na anyị emeghị onye ọzọ ma ọ bụghị naanị gị. Mama dịrị gị Chineke nna nke igwe. Mama dịrị gị onye kere eluigwe n'ụwa. Please have mercy upon us, O Elohim, for we are weak. Come and heal your land which is Biafra, for our bones are vexed. The enemies are everywhere. They are arresting, they are molesting, they are killing, and they are detaining without trial. Your children are living under a fascist system that does not recognize the value of human life. Return to us, Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile. Deliver Biafra. Save IPOB for the sake of your mercy. For if you kill all of us, who is going to remember your name in the darkest continent that is Africa? Your light will be diminished. Your blessing upon the house of God will be gone forever. And your promise to Eri will not be fulfilled. Because in the grave there is none that can praise thee. None can give thee thanks. For we are weary with our suffering and our groaning. Every night we dream tortuous dreams, and we swim in our own sweat. Tears fill our eyes because of what the enemies are doing to your children. Our soul, our heart is consumed with grief. Because of our enemies, we have grown old in our youth. Therefore, all workers of iniquity must depart from Biafra. For Elohim this very night has heard our supplication. He has heard our cry. And this prayer this evening from the Holy Land of Israel to the whole world shall be received in the presence of the Almighty. All the enemies of Biafra will be ashamed. All our enemies will be ashamed. They will fall, never to rise anymore. They will grope in the dark like the blind, and the rage of heaven shall descend upon all of them. That your will, O Elohim, Chukwokika Abiyama, will be done in our lifetime. That your name be exalted, praised, adored, and worshipped. Forever and ever we pray. Ise, Ise, Ise. Ikechukwu is with me here in the studio. And as I said earlier, we are going to be interactive. I hope you have all the details for the contact of the studio here in Israel. I will take your questions. Any question you put to me, I will answer it. If you want to debate me, you are welcome to do so. I will not hide nor run away from any question. I am not Jubril. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. Buhari is dead. They can pretend all they like, but it has become very apparent that the reason why the Yoruba media will not talk about the impostor in Asorok is because they are waiting for the presidency. Everything is about oil and gas. Who occupies the high office? Who can give us more money? That is all they are concerned about. But we are pursuing something far more noble, something far more righteous, something that every right-thinking person ought to identify with. But IPOB is here. I cannot praise IPOB enough. It is a unique privilege. If you find yourself in IPOB, you are indeed a child of the Most High Chukwokika Abiyama. You are a child of light. You have come to bring progress. You have come to bring the finest kind of blessing upon our people. You are indeed a gift from heaven. Never you forget that. That IPOB is exceptionally special. That is why when we are gone, there will be nobody like us. Never, ever, ever. And that is why Elohim has determined that Biafra shall come in our time. We must proceed. The time now is about 25 minutes to 8 p.m. here in Israel. And this is my address to the entirety of humanity on this very day, the 12th of January in the year of Chukwokika Abiyama 2019. My fellow good citizens of Biafra, my fellow compatriots, my fellow hardcore IPOB, I bring you greetings from Israel. Today's broadcast will be characteristically very brief, and we shall deal directly with Governor Dave Umahi's false but very weighty allegation that IPOB is plotting to kidnap the 5 useless governors of Southeast, plus his claim that Ebonyi is not part of Biafra. I will also be addressing the issue of our election boycott stance and why we must follow everything that IPOB commands us to do. It is on record that several newspaper publications of the last weekend quoted Dave Umahi as saying, this is a direct quote from him, just a few days back they sent text message to my wife that the 5 governors of Southeast would be kidnapped and that IPOB security would overpower those governors and demand ransom payment from them. They will then kill them and kill themselves. This is what Dave Umahi said, thereby trying to justify Operation Python Dance. I don't know if it is the 50th one or the 70th one. I have no idea. This is Dave Umahi, a governor in Igbo land, trying to justify the killing of his own people. This is Dave Umahi trying to justify the arrest, kidnap, detention and torture of Justice Uday and the rest that they have managed to abduct. Now, as any right-thinking person reading the above claim from Umahi will see for what it is a barefaced lie from a man who made his life before he became governor from duping and lying to people. This is a man that has long sold his conscience and his people in the vain hope that this discredited, Jubril-led APC cabal he serves will support him to run for the presidency of the damnable Zoological Republic in 2023. This, unfortunately, is the sum of the political worth of any Igbo Biafran politician who finds himself fortunate enough to be elected into the position of the governor of any of our states. They don't go there to serve you. They go there to feather their nests, to sell us down the river, and hopefully become a vice president. They don't have our interest at heart, and they will never love us. Once they're elected into office, they set their very tiny minds on becoming the vice president of Nigeria. There is no other reasonable motivation or explanation as to why Dave Umahi, like his now disgraced and abandoned counterpart in Imo, Rochas Okorocha, have, since coming into office, demonstrated his proclivity. Demonstrated his character towards sabotaging anything Biafra as Okorocha did, and sabotaging every effort made by IPOB to emancipate our people from the bondage we are being forced to endure in Nigeria. That Dave Umahi had resorted to banding unfounded accusations against a universally acknowledged non-violent movement goes to demonstrate a new low in Umahi's hate and betrayal of his own people. All for his hopeless ambition that the APC Fulani cabal he serves, its interest, will somehow foolishly grant him presidency in 2023 as he boasted to Pastor Emma Obai. If you doubt what I'm saying, ask Pastor Emma Obai. You know him, he's a very popular preacher. He's a man of God. Go and ask him, did Dave Umahi confide in you that Jubril and Dasorok cabal promised him that he will be the president come 2023? That is why he's in PDP, working for a very murderous APC regime. Unbelievable. Because they have no honor and they have no shame. This is pathetic. If the Fulani cabal and some of their Yoruba sidekicks did not find it in their good conscience to trust the revered Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe with the presidency of Nigeria, or allow their loyal, unblemished servant, who incidentally formed PDP, Dr. Alex Ekwueme, the right to contest for that position, what planet is Dave Umahi living on to assume that Fulani will give the presidency to him? Zeke fought more than anybody else to keep Nigeria one. Ekwueme did the same thing. They overlooked those two grandees, intelligent, well-educated men that meant also well for Nigeria. How about you, a former 419er? You think Fulani will trust you with the presidency? That is why you invite the army to kill your own people. And on top of that, you go about fabricating arrant nonsense against the peace-loving IPOB. A man with no record of any notable public stewardship or service to his people will always see groveling and subservience to the primitively uncultured Fulani cabal as the only way to advance his hitherto non-remarkable political ambitions. Like Martin Elechi before him, who who incidentally handed power over to him about 4 years ago. The anti-Biafra he is now espousing in the hope of endearing himself to the caliphate may have worked for Martin Elechi, who worked hand in hand with the notorious and treacherous Okpa Biasika, who was only rewarded with the administration of the defunct East Central State immediately after the war because of the excellent saboteur work that he did to undermine Biafra from his base in Yoruba land when he was a lecturer at the University of Ibadan. There is now a tradition that these so-called politicians follow. A few Igbo men publicly betraying Biafra, either in their utterances or on the pages of newspapers, is a well-trodden path that comes with political reward. If you betray your people, Fulani will reward you. That is what they have done. Just name them. Just name each and every one of them before you are considered for any lucrative contract or for any political position. You must be a traitor against your own people. They come to us and they want us to call them intellectuals and elite intelligentsia. They are a bunch of slaves groveling at the feet of Fulani men who are not educated enough to be their own gardeners. Not educated enough. But you see them begging for crumbs from the master's table because they do not believe in themselves, because they believe that treachery and betrayal pays. But Dave Umahi is in for a shock. A very big shock. Ever since Okpa Biasika's betrayal of his people, since that betrayal proved successful and conveyed this impression to our people that betrayal pays, countless traitors have benefited and continue to benefit from this shameful arrangement because there are no consequences or sanctions for their actions. This is the inglorious company Dave Umahi, Okezi Bazu, Nneyawodo, Rochas Okorocha Atoeze, and many other boot-licking, self-deprecating Igbo quislings domiciled in Lagos and Abuja are seeking to join. Anybody who is against the freedom of our people is a treacherous Fulani slave. All of them. All of them. Up to and including Soludo. I give you names and I give you instances. Do you know that Professor Soludo is working with Obiano to re-elect Jubril? Are you aware of that? They are the so-called Igbo intelligentsia. But a Fulani girl selling Fura Dununu is more politically savvy than them. They don't know anything. They feel that by betraying their own people, their own brother, somehow they will climb this ladder of success to becoming a vice president in the zoo called Nigeria. If you know what these men are doing behind our backs, believe you me, you will hang yourselves. They are a disgrace, not just to themselves, not just to their parents, but to the entire Biafran people and the Igbo race in particular. I am telling you, go and investigate all of them and see what they're doing because of money. We can all see what the recent advertised visit of Ohaneze youths, Omoaka, they trained them very young, Kahazuwoshi, to betray their people. To betray their people, that is their stock in trade. They have been doing it since 1970 till now. After one Ohaneze group, another one will take over. Now they're even grooming the tiny ones, showing them how to betray, how to serve Fulani. wore Isiago to go and see Jubril, a man from Sudan. Unbelievable. Tomorrow they will make them a minister, or they give them one other useless position. The idiot will come to the village and tell you that he's an Igbo elite. Do you see how they climb their own ladder of elitism? You fall down before a very filthy Alhaji, bedecked with Arabian oil perfume, who can barely read and write. Submit yourself to him and you get what you want, as befitting a slave. That is what your so-called Igbo leaders are doing in Abuja and in Lagos. That is why, even in retirement, they decide to reside in Lagos or Abuja. Ask yourselves this question this evening. How many Yoruba elders live in Biafra land? How many Fulani or how many Awosa live in Biafra land after their retirement age? It is only our people that believe that by living in Abuja or Lagos, they can remain relevant because they are slaves to their masters. When their masters come, they go crawling. Now you understand the mess we are in. You understand why they want us to vote. You understand why they attack anything to do with Biafra. Because they don't want their slavish past exposed. Because their masters threaten them that any of them found supporting anything that will bring a semblance of relief to the long-suffering people of Biafra, their secret will be exposed. That is why behind your back they say, oh, we want to do something, but, you know, Ohaneze youths went to see Jubril in Nasarok. Despite what this administration have done to our people, the killings at Umpo, the killings in Aba, Iguacha, Mbama River, in Bayelsa, the countless torture, detention, illegal arrest without trial that we are facing, those shot to death during Trump rally at Iguacha, these children decided to go to the same person responsible for killing their people to beg for money. And they were given money, 5 million naira. Who sent them? Oh, Hanaza, their father sent them. Niamod and Co sent them. They have no shame, they have no honor. If Niamod can kneel down before Bola Ahmed Tinubu to beg for office, what wouldn't they do? And I'm very happy that our people have now shunned Niamwodo. They have seen him for what he is. He is a nobody. Look at the children he's bringing up. Look at the children he is bringing up and their attitude towards their own people. Everything is to sabotage. Everything should be sold. No conscience. No honor. No dignity. After the genocidal massacre of our people at Umpo, Aba Onisha in recent years, they still found or had the temerity to go and see Jubril. They have no conscience. As small as they are, they have no conscience. Imagine what they will do when they grow old. They will be worse than Atoeze. Worse than Atoeze. I remember what we used to listen to in those days when I was at SBS in Iguacha, School of Basic Studies. That's a song they used to play then, an intro, kind of a jingle on anybody. If you're old enough to know Radio Reverse to FM Stereo, the finest radio station then in the whole world, bar none. They said a cricket will be burning and they'll be saying, see how beautiful the body looks because of the oil all over the body. You don't know the damn thing is roasting to death. That is what Ohaneze and the baby saboteurs they are grooming have done to our people, including the governors. They have destroyed our people completely. These Ohanese children, there is a saying where we come from. You know, the baby goat always looks at the mother goat to see how the mother goat is chewing, and then learns. If the mother goat goes to the yam, to the barn to go and eat the yam, the baby goat will follow as well. That is what is happening in Ohanese. Ohanese and Igbo have taught their children that the quickest route to political relevance for any Igbo man is to go and kneel in front of an alhaji. Now you understand why they want to kill me. Because I refused to join them. I will not diminish nor debase my Biafran essence by kneeling and bowing before people who I shouldn't be in the same country with in the first place.